The first thing my assigned alien bride did was apologize for existing. Not introduce herself. Not shake my hand. Not even look at me. She stepped off the transport shuttle trembling so badly she nearly fell to her knees. Then the translator around her neck crackled to life. Please! I will obey. Just don't hurt my family. The entire arrival station went silent. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. Whatever her people had been told about humans, it was far worse than war propaganda. The war with the Valkyrie coalition had ended only 6 months earlier. Humanity had won. Barely. Entire colonies had burned. Billions had died across dozens of systems. By the end, every species in the Galactic Council feared humans for one simple reason. Humans did not surrender. Even after losing fleets. Even after orbital bombardments. Even after Earth itself had nearly fallen. Humans kept fighting. That terrified the galaxy. So when peace finally came, the Council created what they called the Unity Integration Program. Officially, it was meant to strengthen interspecies trust. Unofficially, it was damage control. Certain allied species would send volunteers to live among humans. Some became diplomats. Some became cultural ambassadors. And some became bonded partners. Alien brides. The media across Earth treated it like entertainment. Most humans signed up out of curiosity. I didn't. I was a former combat medic trying to forget the war. The last thing I wanted was strangers in my apartment, especially terrified alien strangers. But then the government drafted veterans into the program. Apparently humans with military records were considered stable protectors, which was ironic considering half of us were mentally broken. That was how I ended up standing in Arrival Station 12 waiting for someone named Lyra. And judging by the way she stared at me, she looked like she'd rather jump out an airlock. Lyra belonged to the Ethri. Tall, pale silver skin, white hair, large glowing eyes. Beautiful in a fragile, almost unreal way. She carried no luggage except a tiny cloth bag clutched tightly against her chest. When I approached slowly, she flinched. Actually flinched. Like I was about to hit her. The people around us noticed immediately. Some humans looked offended. Others looked angry. I just felt tired. Hey, I said carefully. You don't have to be scared of me. Her translator took a second to process my words. Then her eyes widened in confusion. You speak gently? That sentence hit harder than it should have. I picked up her small bag from the ground. She recoiled instantly. I can carry it. Please don't be angry. Now people were definitely staring. I lowered the bag slowly. I'm not angry. Lyra looked genuinely shocked. That was the moment I realized something important. Her fear wasn't personal. She was afraid of all humans. For the first 3 days, Lyra barely spoke. She slept curled up in the corner of the guest room instead of using the bed. She hid food in napkins like she expected starvation. And every loud sound made her panic. One night, I finally asked the question that had been bothering me. What exactly were you told about humans? Lyra froze. Then quietly whispered. That humans enjoy causing pain. I stared at her. She continued speaking without looking at me. They told us humans smile before violence. That humans are predators who hide aggression behind kindness. That Earth males are especially dangerous. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was insane. Then I remembered the war footage broadcast across the galaxy. Human soldiers charging through fire. Humans fighting with broken limbs. Humans refusing surrender again and again. To species that evolved avoiding conflict. Humanity probably looked monstrous. Lyra's voice became smaller. My government said if I refused the program, my family would lose protection status. There it was. She hadn't volunteered. She'd been sacrificed politically. And suddenly I wasn't angry at her fear anymore. I was angry at everyone who put her here. A week later, the apartment power grid overloaded during a thunderstorm. The lights exploded out instantly. Lyra screamed. Not startled. Not surprised. Terrified. I found her collapsed beside the kitchen wall, hyperventilating while shards of glass trembled around her. She thought she was under attack. Years of war propaganda had convinced her humans became violent during darkness. I moved slowly. Lyra! Look at me! She couldn't. Her whole body shook uncontrollably. So I sat several feet away instead of touching her. We're okay, I said quietly. It's just a storm. Another thunderclap echoed outside. Lyra covered her head instantly. And then something inside me broke a little. No intelligent species should live this afraid. Especially not in their own home. So I stayed there on the floor with her for nearly 2 hours until the storm passed. I didn't touch her. Didn't move closer. Just talked. About stupid things. Earth food. Bad movies. Why human coffee tasted like engine fuel. Eventually, she stopped shaking. And for the first time since arriving, Lyra looked at me like I was a person. Not a monster. As weeks passed, things slowly changed. Lyra started exploring the city beside me. At first she stayed close enough that our shoulders almost touched constantly, like she feared losing sight of me in crowds. Then gradually, she became curious. She loved rain. Loved bookstores. And became obsessed with stray cats after one rubbed against her leg. You allow predators inside homes willingly? She asked in horror. Yeah, I said. Sometimes they allow us to live there too. That was the first time she laughed. A tiny laugh. But real. And honestly, that sound felt more important than anything I'd done during the war. Because trust is harder to earn than victory. Everything changed during the live council broadcast. A senator from the 4th Dominion openly criticized the human integration program. These pairings are unsafe, he announced. Humans remain biologically aggressive apex predators. Millions watched across the galaxy. Then the senator said something worse. The E3 female assigned to human unit Carter Hayes has not filed regular safety reports. Lyra went pale beside me. I understood instantly. They expected her to report abuse. Probably because they assumed all humans were abusive eventually. The senator continued. Lack of reports may indicate intimidation. That did it. I stood up and walked directly into camera view. Or maybe, I said calmly, she stopped filing reports because nobody here is hurting her. The chamber erupted in noise. The senator sneered. You expect the galaxy to believe a human warrior suddenly developed compassion? Before I could answer, Lyra stood beside me. Shaking. Terrified. But standing anyway. Then she looked directly into the camera. And spoke. No, she whispered. The chamber quieted. Then her voice grew stronger. You do not understand humans at all. Every world watching went silent. Lyra swallowed hard. When I arrived on Earth, I believed humans enjoyed cruelty. I believed smiling humans were dangerous. I believed kindness from humans was manipulation. Her hands trembled. But the first human who truly had power over me. She looked at me briefly. Used that power to protect me. No one spoke. Lyra continued. The galaxy fears human strength. But humans are not terrifying because they are violent. Her glowing eyes met the camera. They are terrifying because even after war, they still choose kindness. Silence filled the broadcast chamber. Complete silence. And somewhere across the galaxy, billions of people realized they might have misunderstood humanity completely. Later that night, Lyra stood on the apartment balcony watching Earth's city lights below. "You could have hated me," she said softly. "Why?" "Because I was afraid of you." I leaned against the railing. "Fear isn't hatred." She looked at me carefully. "And now?" I smiled slightly. "Now you steal my blankets and feed stray cats outside my apartment." That does not answer the question. For a moment neither of us spoke. Then I answered honestly. "Now you're home." And for the first time since arriving on Earth. Lyra smiled without fear. The galaxy had sent her to live with monsters. Instead, she found humans.